My name is Madeline Benetti. I am a junior member of the class of 2017. I study psychology and some biology, headed toward a PhD in cognitive science. I am the executive board secretary of student government. I'm involved in choir and a number of different things on campus.
Hi, my name is Nate Wyatt. I am the president of the Juniata Democrats, and I am a politics POE here on campus.
My name is Ryan Mull. I'm a junior here at Juniata. I'm from Fairfax, Virginia, and I study political economy. It's a combination of both politics and economics.
Juniata's voice, well, I don't think we have a unified voice. I think we have a lot of different voices, and I think we have a main two voices. And we're very polarized. A lot of people have spoken about this, about the political life on campus. As a result of having, we have 11% international students, we have a lot of students from Europe, a lot of students from urban areas, and our other big constituency is local rural Pennsylvanians. As a result of those two demographics, I think we have these two big voices. So, looking at us as a college holistically, I think our voice is one of, we need compromise, we need help. We're sort of like a great example of how things on a national stage are playing out in one small place. Especially how we react to certain current events.
As it is right now, it's very clearly to me a very progressive voice, specifically with regards to getting equality and justice applied to those who have been traditionally marginalized in the years past. At Juniata, that's something everyone here really values.
I don't necessarily think it's important just for Juniata students to be active in their communities, but young people all together. But obviously that applies to Juniata as well. Young people oftentimes go off and do their own thing without paying much attention to the community or what's going on outside the world. They often talk about it, but then they don't end up doing anything about it. I think it's important for students to actually back up what they're saying as well and go out into their community and vote and be active within wherever they're living.
It's important so that students don't live in a bubble. In order to act appropriately, on a day-to-day basis, you need to understand where you are as a part of the whole world. So if you're only basing your behaviors and the way you treat people and your opinions on your microcosm of social life around you, you're not going to be a world citizen. And at a college campus, especially a liberal arts college, that's the whole point, right? It's right in our mission statement to be, I believe it's a member of an evolving global community.
The biggest thing that I found is apathy. A lot of students, I'll try and talk about politics and they'll be, oh my God, it's so boring, I don't care. So that's sort of disheartening if you want people to be engaged about it. That and a lot of people think that their votes don't count. Like, oh, why participate? I'm just one, and in the presidential election, 100 million other people are going to vote. One vote isn't going to make a difference.
One of the obstacles that I face is that a lot of young people are not necessarily interested in politics and the political spectrum. They say, why does this affect me? How does my voice actually change anything when there's a large spectrum? So just getting that cynicism dispelled from their perspective is, I think, really important. It's one of the major obstacles, but you can kind of do that by explaining to them that it actually does matter, your voice does count.
I think this is such an important year. And if the events of the past few years, just throughout the country, there's been a lot of tension, a lot of turmoil, and some changes and reforms are inevitably going to happen.
This election, I think, is going to solidify a trend in our politics. Also, the Supreme Court justices, I don't know if people realize how huge that is, but this president is going to appoint, a substantial amount, 2 or 3 justices that could easily, we're 4 and 1 swing vote right now. So whoever this person appoints, that's going to be huge. in how cases are decided. And with all of the domestic issues, you know, we've had a lot of talk of abortion rights. We've had a lot of talk of gay marriage rights. These justices are going to be ruling on some pretty heavy matters that affect human rights at its fundamental level.
This election year is extremely important, not just at the presidential level, but also in the House, Senate, and local levels as well. Obviously, you have the presidential race. You have on the Democratic side Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, and you have on the Republican side, you know, a lot of people. But I mean, for my views as the president of JC Dems, I think that, especially Bernie Sanders, I think it's the first time we've ever had a candidate who responds well with young people, as well as a far more progressive agenda. I think he's been in politics for a long time, so he knows how to work the system. However, he's not your mainstream typical party line Democrat, which I think is really exciting, and I think it's the first time that we've had that. And even if he doesn't win the nomination, he's voicing views and issues like campaign contributions that a lot of people are scared to talk about in politics. So I think that he's bringing up a lot of really, really good points, and I think he has a potential to win if the young people come out and actually vote for him. There's a lot of they back him up a lot of the time on social media. You see a lot of rallies with young people, but the fact of the matter is voter turnout from people that are 18 to 24 is somewhere along 30%.
We could have the first Jewish president, we could have the first female president, we could have the first Hispanic president. So who knows?
One of the biggest candidates in the election right now, he's a hashtag. Everyone knows what it means to feel the burn. And I think with that social media, it spreads. That's why Bernie Sanders has been able to become so popular. And on the other side, I think social media has also really, in a way you could say, it has benefited Donald Trump too, because it's more publicity for him. And how that all applies to young people. So many young people, they get their news from social media. One of the first things I do every day, I look at Facebook, and I can know, just like that, exactly what happened since I last looked at it.
You do get a lot of information on social media. It's a great way to see new things, new perspectives, and a whole bunch of different, outlooks on that. You just have to take it with a grain of salt.
When I first saw the Juniata Students for Trump, I did not take it seriously at all because I'm friends with the people that made it. I know that they do not support Trump, and there's a video on there of Trump eating himself, so naturally I thought it was a joke. But then things sort of got out of hand when a journalist contacted my friends and asked them a series of questions because there are only 2 Students for Trump pages at the time, and Juniata's was one of them. And I guess the journalist didn't really look at the page and see the video of Trump eating himself. What they said in the article was that they wanted Trump to have a valid voice on campus, since we are mostly a liberal arts school and people take that as us being very liberal, when that's not exactly the case. We get a good mixture of all voices, and I think everyone's voice is pretty well represented. It may swing in either side, but I think the article portrayed Juniata in a different light than we actually are, and so a lot of people got very angry about that. I saw people posting on Facebook, like, tagging Juniata Students for Trump, no way, this is real, I hate this school, and they didn't really look at it either. But anyway, I don't think it was fair for them to say that Juniata does not give people an equal voice, because I am a full supporter that they do.
So social media is, I think it's safe to say that all college students have some form of social media. And there are a lot of politics on social media, a lot of current events. And I think we've all been taught, CNN is more left-leaning, Fox is more right-leaning. I think we know that. But I think it comes down to availability. So whenever you think, I don't know if you've heard of the availability heuristic. It basically says whatever examples pop into mind the most, that's what you base your opinion off of. So if I have seen, a lot of different examples of why Donald Trump is a jerk, then I'm going to base my opinion more off of that, even if I have seen things that didn't stick out as much that were supporting him. So I think social media, it's just a lot more exposure. I think that's the biggest thing. We all know where to find news media, but with social media, it's put right in our face. Our friends are sharing it. We just have a lot more access to information, and I don't know how often students are checking their sources. Obviously, there are things that are biased. There's nothing that's unbiased, but what's being shared among college students is probably going to reflect a certain set of values, whereas what's being shared on social media among maybe our parents even. So I think that it's important. So I think social media helps because at least it puts things out there, but I think it's important to make sure that our friends and the groups we're in, the pages that we're liking, reflect a variety of views.
I mean, for college students, for old people, and everyone in between, we all share this country, and we all live in it together, and it would be a shame if everyone's voices aren't heard, because then inevitably they're going to be unhappy, and that's not what we want in the United States, I don't think, and everyone's voices should be heard, and by doing so, we'll be working better for compromise and to figure out the best path for our country.